I'm not particularly political. I didn't consider myself particularly political, but it looks like I'm kind of ending up there. And like I said, I'm a realist, which puts me on the conservative side, and I'm not stupid. And I understand very well about the world and propaganda and what they're trying to do to us. So you end up being a conservative by default. But you're a real person if you have flaws. If you want to sit and tell a disadvantaged youth growing up in the south side of Chicago how he's supposed to live his life from your perfectly manicured garden and your white picket fence, you're not going to get through to that person. They don't care what you have to say.
It actually becomes a bit of a turnoff.
Absolutely. Another thing that conservatives is going to blow their minds, is going to really upset them. What they don't understand about, especially the strength of my message, is that to especially the young boys of the world, I'm cool. I'm cool. And I know they think that doesn't matter, but if you want to sit behind a desk and go, the Republican Bill 304, you're a dork. So no one gives a shit, right? You're a nerd. I've got the big cars and pretty women, and I live the lifestyle. If you want to really capture the youth of today, you need to get some kind of affinity with them. They need to at least want to be you to a degree. You need to at least be their hero to a degree. This is where liberalism wins. I don't think a lot of conservatives understand that liberalism's sexy. You do drugs, you run around, you burn stuff. It's cool. You get a party. Because what do conservatives do? Stay home, stay home, stay home. It's boring, right? At least what they don't understand is that conservatives will sit there and go, he's a terrible role model because he has all these pretty girls in this fast car and he's a materialistic. That's the reason I can actually help the world. That's the reason young boys will listen to me. You said it yourself, 14, 15-year-old boys, they'll look at my life and go, okay, I want to listen to this guy. They don't want to listen to me if I sit behind a desk and read Republican Bill 308. I don't read that crap. I don't know. And they don't.
And the thing is about Andrew Tate makes a very good point here on why the men want to be him. Is because he has the lifestyle. He has what men want. Men want nice cars. Men want women. Men want to live that life that gets attention. This is why people follow him. He's absolutely right. But what we have is a generation of men that don't want to put in the work. They don't see Andrew Tate when he's not sleeping. They didn't see Andrew Tate when he was stressing. They didn't see Andrew Tate when he didn't know what was going on in his mind. Mind was going through confusion. He couldn't figure it out, because you have to go through that pain in order to get to where he's at. We have to teach guys that the pain you're going through is pain that you need to be stronger. Pain is nothing but weakness leaving the body. The more pain you go through and continue to pressure forward, the happier you're going to be at the end of the road. But when you get used to participation trophies, you're not going to know how to bounce back. You're going to be hoping someone lift you up instead of you deciding to pick yourself up. That's the downfall about it. People see the glitz and glam, but when it comes to putting in the work, that's the hard part.
Don't care. And I also think that especially in the masculine realm, we certainly like to see people lead by absolute and our example, because traditionally we would be following our commander or the man we respected into war. So we'd like to know he can at least fight. You like to see he's at least brave. You like to see him lead by example. And I think especially if conservatives want to win the culture war, then they need to lead by example. If you're going to be a conservative preacher and you want to tell men about how they should live their lives, you should be as strong as possible. You should look in shape. You should be big. You should show you're motivated, you're disciplined. You should absolutely, of course, we all have vices, but you should be very disciplined with your outlook. You should make it very clear to the outside world that what you've done wrong, what you haven't done wrong, you should take accountability. I think you need to lead by example. I don't think you can preach to men. I don't think you can preach to young boys. I think that's the reason why they don't do so well in school in general. I don't think that's the reason why they're disenfranchised. I think you need to just lead by example and let them follow. And I feel like I'm kind of doing that by just standing up and saying, no, this is who I am and I'm unapologetic for it. And this is what I've done. And this is what I intend on doing. And I'm going to try and save the world.
I absolutely agree with him on that. I agree. If you're going to be a leader, what you have to do is you have to play the part. You have to lead by example. But what I think that when you're leading by example, when you are the guy with the muscles, when you are the guy with the money, when you are the guy living this lifestyle, I think most guys are getting jealous of that now. and they're saying, oh, you think you're better than me. That guy thinks he's better than me. Anthony Spade thinks he's better than me. Men have become feminine, so they're picking up the mindsets of a woman. That's how a woman thinks. When she sees another woman doing it, she says, that person thinks they're better than me, instead of having a competitive nature with that man. What Andrew Tate is speaking from is the point of view that men who get motivated by what he do. Like, I'm one of those. If I see Andrew Tate doing it, I'm like, all right, I got to put in the work to get it done. But I don't think guys are willing to live up to that competition, because they can't even handle the pain from a woman. If you can't handle what a woman's going to do or say to you, you're not going to be able to handle life's tests. The participation trophies is what's setting men back. You need to get back into the grind. All right, let's get to the next part of here.
Women are conditioned to act a certain way before marriage, but also during marriage, men and women are conditioned differently. If you have a man who's been married for 10 or 15 years, and let's say he doesn't sleep with his woman anymore, and he goes on TV and says, me and my woman have been married for 15 years. We no longer have sex. I'm not satisfied. I should leave. Everyone will say to him, no, you can't leave. You can't leave her just because she won't have sex with you. Are you out of your mind? Are you crazy? Stick by your woman. She has an emotional problem, etc. If you had a woman who said, I've been married for 15 years, I've been with him, I'm not attracted anymore, I don't have sex with him anymore. You deserve freedom. You can go get someone else. Why are you putting up with this? His feelings aren't your responsibility. So it's actually very interesting. Also, the psyop happens post-marriage. Women are also attacked post-marriage to not try, not stick around, not worry about their husband's needs.
Speaking to your point, one thing I speak to the young women that follow me about is making an effort after you get married. This idea, I was reading this ridiculous column, Ask Jane, where a guy was writing in earnest saying, I love my wife. She's a wonderful mother to our children. We've been married. She had one child. Two years later, she gained 50 pounds and hasn't lost it. Yeah. And the Jane wrote back to him and yelled at him for saying, he's like, I'm not attracted to her anymore. I don't want to. Just yelled at him for even saying this. I'm going, no, why are you yelling at him for being honest? The idea that marriage is a finish line is problematic. Yep. That, oh, well, I got the guy. I pretended that I like to work out and go to the gym. And now that I've got him, I'm going to gain 200 pounds and he's just stuck with me. Yep. That is a poisonous mentality. You should make an effort for your husband.
Right. You don't just start a company.
And I have to agree with her on that. But I also have to put a little real perspective on that as well. What men have to understand is 95% of the time, a woman is marrying a man that she doesn't love, because that's the only guy that's willing to stay consistent at placing her on a pedestal. And a lot of guys that get married, they're getting married to maintain pretty much sex, to maintain a lifestyle so they don't have to go back into the dating world. That's what separates the men from the women. When it comes to women, women can easily go back into the dating world. But when it comes to a man, he'll rather just have that one woman so he doesn't have to battle the dating sacrifices. So understand, when it comes to a woman, if you're the man that wants the marriage and the kids way more than her, you're going to get played. And a lot of husbands, you're in that boat where you simped your way into the marriage. You caught her at that time. And then when she got you, you continued to chase her throughout the relationship because she never conformed into the woman that you wanted to be. All she did was just start disintegrating. She started getting worse. She started getting fatter. She started becoming a whole bunch of stuff. She's not attractive no more, as well as you not getting sex. Next thing you know, you're miserable. Why? Because you simped your way into the marriage. Men have to not get married and wait for the woman to adapt to him. When the woman adapts to you, you're not going to have any problem with sex. Guarantee you that.
Company and go, okay, I'm rich now. No, you got to work on that company every day. It's rented. You don't just get in shape and go, I'm in shape now, it's done. No, absolutely everything's the same, and a relationship is exactly the same, and I completely agree with you. I think the reason a lot of men are also rejecting marriage is, one, because there's not many wives to find, but two, I think a lot of men find themselves very unhappy in marriage because the women have no interest at all in satisfying them. Like you said, there are no interest at all in their needs, and they end up scared of divorcing her because they're going to be bankrupt. In a marriage where they don't feel respected, kids don't listen to them, and they're not the king of their own household. So what would be the attraction in getting married unless you're going to be the king of your own household? And that can be extrapolated and discussed in two different ways. One about feminine submissiveness, but also about masculine accountability and excellence. Because I think if you're truly an excellent man, you can be the king of any household. So It's very interesting. It's kind of interesting how all arguments come back to almost the same base biological things. and you teach women to be good women, you teach men to be good men, and everything kind of works out after that. And if you break those two things, everything built on top of it completely degrades and breaks down. It's done on purpose because they have the world so confused now that they can come at us with absolute garbage, and it needs a discussion. If we had the basis of masculinity and femininity in the household, how much harder would the transgender argument be to implement? Think about it.
He is absolutely right. If the households are running correct, then you have both parents that can actually speak from a logical perspective. Parents cannot speak from a logical perspective. One of the main reasons that they can't is because of their job. A lot of these jobs have the agendas behind them, which forces the parents to adjust to their job's agenda, and then they take those agendas home. So if the school has an agenda with the teachers, then they're putting it into the child, as well as the parents that are going to work every day. Those jobs have agendas too that are pushed inside the parents. So then the parents are coming home to make sure that the child and them are both on the same agenda, whether they agree with it or not. They have to do it as a form of survival. That's what's really happening here. A lot of these parents have to go to jobs where all of these agendas are being pushed, and they're forced to push it into their child, not realizing that the teachers at the school, they're forced to put the agendas into the child as well. See, when you get them at your early age, then you can create a generation.
She's a woman, I'm a man. No. But now they got people thinking we're all the same. It doesn't matter. Gender is not real. All this craziness because of the breakdown of the basics. So this is why perhaps they see you as such a threat, and they see me as such a threat, and they see us as such a threat because we've just stuck to the age-old adages and the age-old ways that people have always been. And I do think that one of the reasons why they dislike me so much is because, yeah, I certainly live a teenage boy's dream. But if you want to inspire the next generation, how else are you going to do it, right? You have to have the fancy car and the big yacht and all these things. And by inspiring these men to stand up and think for themselves and resist the slave mind, it's doing genuine damage to their slave agenda. Genuine damage to their slave agenda. And I think that that's why I especially ended up targeted. I truly believe that's what's happening.
All right, before we go to the next part, I absolutely agree with him. The brains have been stripped. The belief systems have been stripped because it caters more to the emotions of people than the logic of reality. But it's all done by demand. I mean, not demand, but it's all done by design, which means that the weaker you make people and the more you can pressure them against the wall, the quicker they're going to adapt to your belief system out of fear. Out of fear of not knowing what's getting ready to happen next. It's what's keeping the world vibrating low. Next question says, Andrew, take on weak men who constantly complain. Let's get to it. Hakeem is back with another one. Hakeem, my browser isn't updating, but we're going to go ahead and give you that for the donation of $2. I see much weakness in men. You're absolutely right, my dude.
I don't think many people genuinely do their best in the world anymore. When I say do your best, people sit and go, oh, yeah, okay. No, when's the last time you actually did your best? Like, I don't train to run marathons, but I know if I gave my best, I could run a marathon right now, first try. If I gave my best, life depending on it. When's the last time people have genuinely given their best to anything? There are people going through the world and going through life today that don't give their best or 100% effort to anything ever. They can't even remember the last time they tried. So when I'm sitting in a dungeon, I'm sitting in a Romanian jail cell, I understand that it is a chance that God has given me and my ancestors are watching for me to do my absolute best and to show to them that I am the man I say I am. You can't become the most famous man in the world for mental resilience and God not test your mental resilience. I think that would be a very amateur way to view the world, that you can now become one of the most famous men in the world who talks about mental discipline and mental resilience and God's not going to test it. I think.
Got to stop right there. He's absolutely right. How many times have I told y'all, not only just on Instagram, but in my videos and in my short, you have to be pressure tested. Big shout outs to MTR because that's where I got it from. You have to be pressure tested in life. Your knowledge has to be pressure tested. When you're in a relationship with a woman, before you tell her you love her, that relationship has to be pressure tested. Before you gain success in life, you have to be pressure tested. When it comes to even getting your body in shape, you have to be pressure tested. You have to be tested to see how bad you want to achieve what you're achieving. But guys don't want to be pressure tested on bettering themselves. They don't want to be pressure tested on becoming the man that they want to be. They want to be pressure tested with a woman rejecting them, seeing if they can get back up and keep getting her. That's what y'all want to be. You want to be pressure tested in getting a woman than being pressure tested and bettering yourself, making it easier for you to get the woman. I just wanted to put that out there.
I think God's going to come along and say, okay, you want to be Mr. Famous. All right, let's see what you have. So I believed it was a chance to show God and show my ancestors and show my father that I am the man I say I am. And it's amazing how much strength you can draw from that, because I don't think many men especially understand that even if you don't have the strength to be a hero for yourself, you should have enough discipline and enough honor to want to be a hero for somebody else. And if you have other people you truly respect, you should want to be a hero for them. And I think that's the masculine imperative. If someone's going to attack your wife, that's when you become a hero for her. You have to. What kind of man are you if you're not? And you can apply that to other things. If you apply that to your ancestors, or you apply that to God, or you apply that to your beliefs or your core principles as a man, then you can be a hero anytime you want. So
it's so funny that you say that, because it really does. Everything goes back to biology. I think about this all the time, no matter how much sociology is behind everything, telling men to act like women and women to act like men. At the end of the day, women want a masculine man. And when they don't have a masculine man and they beat their man into submission, they're not attracted to them anymore. When it's a tail in between, it's just not attractive anymore.
This is the important part. This is the important part. When a woman has to beat you into submission, they are not attracted to you. When you complain, they're not attracted to you. When you cry, they're not attracted to you. When you're saying, God, you're just doing this, they're not attracted to any form of weakness in a man. They're not. That's what we have to get across to men. Your complaining is not going to get you nowhere, but get you a lot of fake friends in your life, giving you participation trophies, patting you on your back, massaging your shoulders of insecurity. That's why I tell you guys, the red pill is not really red pill. It's strawberry jelly beans. Tastes good, right? But ain't doing nothing to help you out.
And I used to make me think of this boyfriend that I had when you were talking about, just defending the realm, this sort of responsibility that men have. And I remember sitting there realizing that I had to break up with him, because I thought that if somebody burst through the door with a gun, I was going to have to be the one that would have to defend us, because he was just such a flower.
100%.
And it's in society is yet blaring at men to do the opposite. And
they're trying to confuse us. So it's crazy how they'll attack you, and they'll attack you so violently and so endlessly and repeat it so many times in a bid to beat your soul down. That's what they want, especially from me. I truly believe I'm the number one prize for them to get. If they can get me to just give up, if we can get Andrew Tate to just give up, being a man's bad. Come on, Andrew, say it. And it's like, it's dangerous, one thing, but it's actually genuinely also sad. When I analyze the situation in the world we're in today, part of me feels sad that we've ended up in this place where the people who are in charge are so evil, and their plans are so heinous, and the consequences so dire, that they know they can only implement them if they genuinely remove the warrior spirit from every man on the planet. The best way you can rebel against the slave mind and resist the matrix is just be the kind of person who uses logic, is stoic, is emotionally controlled, is physically strong, because a strong body is a strong mind, who refuses to be told or labeled as something. You can't label me as a depressed person. You can't label me as some kind of disease or some kind of personality disorder. You can't label me a color. I'm Andrew Tate. This is who I am. I work hard for my last name. I understand what's right and wrong. I'm going to do my absolute best. And that alone in and of itself is an act of rebellion against these people.
And he's right. They don't want you to be the best version of yourself, because it's intimidating. They're trying to make everybody feel like everybody is equal. Everybody is equal as a human being, but everybody can handle pain differently. They can react to life differently, because their vision of life is differently. How you visualize life is how you're going to react to it. With me, I know life is tough, but I look at life as a game. You learn how to play the game of life. You seem to get a lot further in life whenever you're playing the game versus playing the emotional game of trying to make everybody happy. I tell nice guys all the time, There's nothing wrong with being a nice guy. The only downfall about being a nice guy is that you feel like people are going to treat you the same way that you're treating them, when in reality they're not, because you never know what someone's thinking.
Say it over and over on the show. Everybody needs a therapist. They're talking about their feelings. The truth is that every feeling you have isn't valid, doesn't need to be explored. Sometimes you just have a wacky feeling and you just let it go. And because my grandfather was such an impact on my life, strongest man that I've ever known, didn't shed a tear at my grandmother's funeral. They were together from the time he was 17 years old until her dying day. I'm certain he collapsed when he got home.
Yeah, of course.
But this traditional display of masculinity, in my grandfather's perspective, that a man needs to let it die in his chest, before displaying this emotion, had an impact on me. And when I see, like, I guess to give a cultural example, someone like Prince Harry, on TV with his arms like this, breathing and showing what he learned in therapy, it makes me want to die a little.
Completely.
It makes me want to die a little when I see men acting like this.
Completely.
And that's controversial because they're supposed to say, oh my God, he's so brave. It's so stunning. Like, he's showing this side of him. Everything about Prince Harry, to me, is what a man should not be. Right?
Absolutely.
I think everybody agrees to that. But you have to understand, life is about views. Once everything has become about views now, what type of person wants to see Prince Harry say, oh, I'm suffering and I'm going through there? Some fat slob sitting at home doing nothing that's depressed about his life. If we're living in a world of depression, depressed people love watching other depressed people. I'm sorry, but if I was to make a video tomorrow telling people hardships about my life and I'm thinking about taking myself out and I don't think I want to be here anymore, you know how many people going to watch that video? They're going to watch it. People enjoy watching other people suffer because they're sitting at home doing nothing and it makes them feel better about their life. That's how come it's so popular now for men to be weak, because you're being viewed by other weak people who want to feel better about themselves. You want to grow on social media? Make your life look like it sucks. Look at the girl that has the channel and she says, I'm living out of a van. Oh, you're living out of a van with 5 million subscribers, averaging 10 million views a video. And she acting like she's struggling because it makes people who are sitting at home all day doing nothing with their life feel better. That's what we have going on in society. We have lazy, emotional people who don't want to be accountable for their life. So you're watching the internet on people's lives looking like it sucks. You're watching people's failures. You're watching people cry. You're watching people suffer. Look at the videos. 40-year-old woman loses life. 19-year-old loses life. This person lost their life. You're watching people lose their life every day. That's why it's popular now to show emotion on TV, to show emotion with things that you're doing. I even did a social experiment on Instagram where I made my car look like I crashed it and got so many views when I convinced the world that I lost my car. You should have just seen how many people watched it compared to when I put the new wrap on it. People are living in depression. They're depressed. They don't know what to do. But only thing they know is they want to watch somebody else fail because they don't know what to do about their pain. That's the world we're living in. That's why everything seems fake. We're catering to weak people because those weak people bring in views. Those weak people donate. Those weak people keep the lights on. Those weak people can give you a lifestyle because you're supposed to make them feel better with your pain. That's how it works. That's how it goes.
What you've done to your family, betraying your family, allowing a woman to assert that much control over you that you would for profit betray your family. I mean, everybody's got a family. Everybody's got family issues. Don't even let me get started. But the idea of selling out your family and then going
the royal family, selling out the royal family. I know how miserable he is.
He's miserable.
There's no way a man can be happy in that scenario because I think masculine happiness comes from strength and to a degree excellence, and also comes from respect. Men want to be respected. and he doesn't respect himself, his family doesn't respect him, and his woman doesn't respect him. I know how unhappy he is. I know how unhappy she is by extension. It's just an unhappy, miserable house. He gave up everything and gained absolutely and utterly nothing. This whole therapy thing, the reason I believe they push therapy so heavily is because it goes into something I said a little bit earlier about selfishness. If you convince somebody that they have to spend hours and hours per week sitting in a chair talking about that feeling they had last Thursday in the kitchen.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
Crazy.
You want to talk about creating mental illness. There it is. This exasperates problems. This makes it worse. And it also builds this culture of absolute and utter selfishness.
Right. I want you guys to pay attention to that. When you're sitting up and you're constantly talking about traumatized situations, it eat away at you. It starts to distort your reality. It starts to change you. That's what happens with this space. When people come into this red pill space, it starts to change you. It takes you away from reality, and it starts to make you weaker. It starts to keep you a victim. It starts to throw all of your life off. I can almost guarantee you, if you've been watching this content for 2 to 3 years plus, your life has stayed the same. It hasn't grown. It hasn't went anywhere. This is why people can come into these communities and make the same video, make the same cheating video, make the same woman did you bad video, make the same entitled woman video, woman this video. We're watching the same content, right? Every single day, same content going out. New people that's making it, they're starting to think there's some type of philosopher that I got a crowd of people that's following me. No, you're just recycling information that's been there, a predetermined audience. Because they came here and have completely changed their mindset or way of thinking. Only a mental ill person can watch the same shit over and over again, expecting different results. Why? Brain has been completely rearranged. You have to wake up, guys. Got to wake up.
Excuse me, they're trying to put you in jail for the rest of your life effectively because they're going to enslave you and they're going to control all the money and they're going to make you get injections you don't need. Yeah, but you know, I'm sad. I got therapy. I'll talk about it later. Yeah. That's all they want. They just want you to be so obsessed with how you feel in your own mind that you can't even look outside of yourself and care about anything. You can't go up to a chick in a bar and say, you know what? Usually I'm really charming. Today I'm a bit sad. Can you give me a pass? Can you let me off? She'll be like, go away, weirdo. The chick you want doesn't care. The job you're supposed to perform at doesn't care. If the man who wants to mug you decides to pull out a machete, he doesn't care. You can't say, bro, I'm not in the mood for a fight today. Tomorrow, please. Nobody cares. So why do you care? All the people out here in the world don't care, but you're going to sit there and you're going to care to be the only person in the world who cares. You're going to walk around telling everybody, trying to find somebody who gives a shit. Good luck.
This is why we love that dude. This the Andrew Tate that you gotta love. This is him. This is what we love about him. Straight facts. Nobody cares about your problems, but you make your problems where everyone is supposed to care about it and they really don't. That's what's wrong. Men have to get over their problems. Nobody cares. Nobody in this space cares. Everyone wants to make money off the weakling who's trying to be heard. No, you have to deal with that pain. Let's get back to it. This is why we love this guy.
Luck, because what's going to happen is you're going to walk around feeling sorry for yourself, trying to find somebody who cares. You might find somebody who pretends to care long enough for you to get a little bit of dopamine, but all in all, you're wasting time in a hyper-competitive world where people like me who perform regardless of how they feel are just going to perpetually bury you. I think Margaret Thatcher said the best upbringing you can have is good parents and no money, because you look at Prince Harry you can't talk about anything better for a perfect upbringing. Royal family, come on. It's not his fault, right? Royal family, fine. If you don't give a man struggle, look what he becomes. Tell me the kind of man, if I were to say to you, imagine a man who's never struggled in his life. Physically, mentally, everything's gone perfect for him. He's born in the royal family, everything's been perfect for him his whole life. Is that the kind of man anybody respects? Is that the kind of man anyone wants to be? And struggle is subjective, right? So Prince Harry dealing with his current problems of his wife nagging, to him, that's full mental breakdown, right? My problems are obviously much larger, but struggle is subjective. To us, they're almost on the same level. But if you were to compare them side by side, they're absolutely nothing.
I'm glad he's saying that. See, that's what makes being emotional bad for a man. Because you guys look at, not you, let me stop saying you because a lot of y'all take it personal. Most people online, you look at celebrity lifestyles, you look at influencer lifestyles, and when they start going through stuff, you think you and them are on the same level. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation is not relatable to no one else. You're talking about billion-dollar people. Your situation is an individual situation, but yet people stay inside of their own victimization because you start to compare yourself to a celebrity that you think are equal when you're really not. What they're doing is just entertainment. I'm glad he said that. Come on now. Let's get back to it.
So as a man, you have to build resilience, and you build resilience through going through something and building a tolerance to it. And this guy's had such a privileged life that he's ended up a miserable, depressed, unhappy person. So this is what's actually very interesting. When men come to me or young boys come to me and talk about something bad that happened to him, I said, good. Absolutely and utterly good. You should be glad that thing happened to you, because that's the reason you're going to be the man who can resist the perils of life in the future. If bad things don't happen to you, you're going to end up like Prince Harry. You don't want to end up like that dude, do you?
No one does.
Yeah, exactly. So your life's going to be so easy. You're going to get to the end result and your wife's just going to wreck you. Even if we look at Harry and Meghan and how they interact in their home, I obviously don't know, but I can almost guess to the T the arguments they're having. I can imagine him saying, I gave up my family for you. This is what you wanted. I gave you what you wanted. Why aren't you happy? I gave you everything you liked. And he's trying to use a logical or an emotional, well, he's trying to use an emotional argument, but it ain't going to work because she doesn't respect him. He's trying to use a logical argument with her, trying to understand why she treats him so badly after he completely and utterly complied. But humans are biological, and she, as a woman, wanted him to be a man. She wanted him to have some degree of parameter and barrier. And if you don't put up any parameter or barrier as a man, what a woman's going to do is she's going to push you and push you and push you and push you. She's going to see how far she can push you. So she was waiting for him on a biological level to stand up and be a man and say, listen, you've joined the royal family. You're right. You had to bow to the Queen of England. Correct. Because it's the royal family. Get over it. That's all he had to do. He could have saved himself all this mess. He could have saved himself all the running away and looking like a fool and upcoming divorce and all this garbage if he would just put his foot down. He never did. And she was trying to inspire in him the warrior. I think a woman sometimes tests a man to say, okay, how much will he put up with? Because they want to see, are you a man or not? What if a man's giving you shit? What will you do? They want to see if you're about it. And she was just testing him, and he failed every time. And that's why he's tried to perma please her. And now he's in a situation where he's asking her why she's unhappy when he's given her everything she wants. And she's unhappy because you gave her everything she wants because you're a punk.
Women don't want neutered men. They don't.
Absolutely.
Even if they personally neuter them themselves, it's not what they want in the end. You need people.
And they're absolutely right. When it's all said and done, guys, you are responsible for your own lifestyle. You have to be accountable to everything that happens in your life. The moment you start making yourself accountable to everything that happens in your life, life starts to change because you start to take it more serious and you start to play the game of life that you need to be played. Big shout outs to Andrew Tate. You guys already know that's one of the strong arms over here that we give a lot of respect to. All right, guys, I've been on here for about 2 hours. I'm about to break these videos down. What I need you guys to do is, in Sigma Nation, when I put out a video, I'm about to go and film a Sigma male video, and then I'm going to put this video out as a reaction. But here at Sigma Nation, I need you guys to start commenting on the videos, reaction videos, and Sigma male videos. I've been trying to make it a point to keep giving y'all those motivational uplifters every day. But we got to push me back into the algorithm, all right? Because I don't make money off the Sigma male videos. I make money off the reaction videos. So support the reaction videos just as much as you do as the Sigma male pickup videos, all right? But I got to get going now. I want to thank everybody that has showed up today in this live. We've been here for about 2 hours. I'm trying to get to the point where I could do this more often. I did it this morning because I had energy. I'll probably try to return tomorrow. But until then, comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.